All right, let's jump right in. We've all been told that if you want massive success, you need massive, explosive action. But what if that's only half the story? In this explainer, we're going to look at this really powerful clash between two very different ways of getting things done, and why one of them pretty much always wins out in the long run.
Just let that one sink in for a second. Intensity gets all the attention, right? It's the all-nighter before a deadline, the crash diet before a vacation, that crazy 2-week sprint that just leaves everyone totally burnt out. It looks amazing. It feels spectacular in the moment, but, and this is a big but, that whole approach has a huge critical weakness.
And this quote, man, it just nails the core conflict, doesn't it? So think about it for yourself. Are you always chasing that temporary high you get from some massive, heroic effort? Or are you trying to build a sustainable rhythm that just carries you forward day in and day out? That's the fundamental choice we're really going to unpack here.
Okay, so first things first. Let's talk about the intensity trap. We need to figure out, why is that all-in, go-for-broke approach so appealing? And more importantly, why is it so often a trap that just leads straight to failure?
So what's going on here? Well, the whole intensity thing is fueled by these huge emotional spikes. You know the feeling. When you're on, you feel like you can conquer the world. But then you crash, and you crash hard. This kicks off these wild motivation cycles. You're either going 110% or you're at zero. There's no in between. And that, of course, leads right into these burnout loops. And what's worse, your whole identity gets wrapped up in the hype of being intense. So when you can't keep it up, and nobody can, you feel like a total failure. It is just an absolutely exhausting way to live.
Okay, let's put these two head to head. Look at intensity. It's all about how you feel. If you're not feeling motivated, guess what? Nothing happens. It's built on pure hype. But consistency, that's a totally different game. It doesn't care how you feel. It depends on the standards you've set for yourself. It's built on routine, not raw emotion. It basically trades those crazy emotional roller coasters for controlled, steady behavior.
All right, so if that's the trap, what's the way out? The answer, of course, is consistency. But here's the thing. Being consistent probably doesn't mean what you think it means.
Yeah, let's get this out of the way right now. This is the biggest misunderstanding about consistency. It is not about working 16 hours a day. It is not about grinding yourself into dust, never taking a break. Honestly, that's just intensity wearing a different costume. It leads to the exact same burnout. Real, true consistency, it's much smarter than that. And it's way more sustainable.
So what does it actually look like? Well, it's really built on 4 key pillars. First, and this is huge, you just show up. Even when you're bored, even when you don't feel like it. Second, and this one is a real game changer, you aim for a solid 70% effort every single day, not a heroic 110% burst that you can't maintain. Third, you have to protect your routines like your life depends on it, because your progress does. And finally, you get rid of decision fatigue. You make the important stuff automatic so you don't have to think about it. Look, if you're going to remember one thing about how to do this, let it be this simple definition. Consistency is just controlled behavior over time. That's it. It's not about passion. It's not about motivation. It's about a controlled, deliberate action, done again and again and again. That really is the secret sauce.
So why bother with all this? Why build these routines? Because this is where the magic really kicks in. It's all about the compounding advantage. Let's take a look at the real long-term payoff.
The thing is, the real win here isn't just one single big outcome. It's the slow, steady, compounding growth of all these incredible assets. When you show up every day, you build a depth of skill that a few intense bursts could never ever touch. You build trust with people because they know you're someone they can count on. You forge a reputation for being reliable. And maybe, just maybe, the most important one of all, you build a deep, profound self-respect because you're actually keeping the promises you make to yourself. Okay, so knowing all that, it's time to change the goalposts. It's time to set a new and, frankly, a much more powerful standard for ourselves. And here's the first step, and it's a big one. Just stop. Stop trying to be intense. Stop trying to be the person who works the longest hours or makes the biggest, loudest splash. Let go of that need to be impressive in these short, crazy bursts that you know you can't sustain. And instead, start trying to be reliable. That's the new standard. Just reliable. Reliable to your work, reliable to the people around you, reliable to your own goals, and reliable to yourself. Because at the end of the day, reliability is what builds everything that matters. Trust, reputation, and that unstoppable momentum. That's the real prize.
So I'll leave you with this question. Forget about being intense for a while. Just think about being reliable. What is the one, small, simple routine that you will commit to protecting this week, no matter what comes up? Because that simple decision, that's where the real advantage actually begins.